Hello everyone, welcome to the class with Sister Josephine. I'm going to deal with class 9 and 10, English 2, Merchant of Venice, Act 1, Scene 2, and today we are going to see from the numbers 41 to 94. Welcome to the class. In the previous class, we had seen the same scene from number 1 to 40, where the discussion between Portia and Nerissa about the suitors and about the will of her father, about the casket system and so many other things. And so far we had seen they were talking about the princes or the suitors, those who had come already. And the first one we saw was the Prince of Naples, who was the lover of horse and so on. So today we continue with the same thing. Here is the second person. We start from with the discussion with Nerissa. So Nerissa, he is telling then, the second person, he was the second person. Nerissa says then is the County Palatine. County Palatine means, okay, now here he is a German, okay, man from German. He was a count. Count is a position which is held in the prince family. For example, now the king and queen, then come the prince and princess, then comes the Dutch and duchess, then come the count and countess. So this is a count. So he was a family member, a royal family member. It was from German. So County Palatine. Now Portia describes about this particular German count. He doth nothing but frown. Means what? This fellow, he does nothing but only frown. Frown means always looking at angry, an angry look. Okay, a doubt look. As who should say, and you will not have me choose. Okay, now he is now just as if he is to say, if you do not want me, choose anyone you wish. Okay, if you do not want me, choose anyone whom you like or whom you want to choose, you choose. That's what he says. He hears merry tales and smiles not. Like small children, he likes to listen to merry tales, but he will never smile. Only he listens to the stories and he never smiles. That's what. I fear he will prove the weeping philosopher when he grows old, which means that I fear that this man, this count, when he grows old, he will be a sad philosopher, weeping philosopher, which refers to the man who was known for his wisdom and good man. But this weeping philosopher refers to someone else who was always sad, and he was sad of the world and the people, and at the end he left the world, he went to the forest, he went to a deserted place and lived a lonely life. So till the end of his life he lived a sad life. In the same way, this fellow also will prove to be the weeping philosopher when he grows. He will grow old in like a sad philosopher, being so full of unmannerly sadness in his youth, because in all his youth, throughout his youth, his life, in his young life, he is full of unmannerly sadness. Means he is full of a gloomy, unpleasant, gloomy look. He is having an unpleasant, gloomy look in his life now. So with this unpleasant, gloomy look, he will become old man and he will become the old sad philosopher. Next, I had rather be married to a death's head with a bone in his mouth than to either of these. Which means that Portia is telling that I should rather marry a smiling skull bone, okay, with a bone in his mouth, than to marry either of this. You might have known this, which means that in some of the places you might have seen the danger zone, where a skull, the only the head part of the skull, the head is kept with a two symbol of this type, and where it is written danger. So, but even though it is a skull, but it looks as if it is a smiling. That's what, no? So Portia is telling at least the skull is smiling. So I would be rather happy to marry to that smiling bone with these two bones in near his mouth, than to marry these two fellows. These two fellows, the Prince of Naples and this Prince, okay, this County Palatine, German, the German count. So God defend me from these two means God protect me from both of these two men. That's it. Next, to that Nerissa replies, okay, that's over. Next comes the third person. How say you by the French Lord Monsieur Libon? So now here comes the next person from France. The first one was from Naples, second one was from Germany, the third one is now from France. French Lord Monsieur Libon. Now Portia describes about him. God made him, and therefore let him pass for a man. Now, because God had made him as he is, okay, we may let him pass for a man. Let him be as he is. Let him pass for a man as he is. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he, okay, he knows that I know it is a sin to make mockery of others. But this man, I will just describe something about him. She knows that I should not mock him. Okay, I should not ridicule others. But even then, I am going to describe about him. He. Why? He had a horse better than the Neapolitans, a better bad habit of frowning than the Count Palatine. Now, what is this? Let us see. Okay, this man, this Frenchman has got to, okay, he is more attached to the horse than this Prince of Naples. And this man has a more bad habit of frowning more than this German Count. So he proved to be worse than both of them. Next, he is every man in no man. So this is a very important line here. He is every man in no man means, what does it mean? Means, okay, he has everybody else characteristics in him, but he doesn't have his own personality. This is the meaning of he is every man in no man, means he possesses the personality or he possesses the characteristics of all the other men, but he doesn't have his own personality, not even one. That's the meaning of this, he is every man in no man. If a throstle sing, he falls straight a capering, which means throstle means it's a name of a bird, English bird, thrush. In today's language, this bird is called a thrush, Thrush, thrush. But in those days, it is mentioned as throstle sing. Means it's a bird, English bird. When this particular bird starts singing, he falls straight a capering, means he jumps and he dances. That's what. Okay. If the bird is singing, he is dancing here. That's what. He will fence with his own shadow. Means suddenly when he is frightened of whom? He is frightened of his own shadow, and he takes out his sword to attack his own shadow. That's what. He will fence with his own shadow, means when he is frightened of his own shadow and he tries to attack his own shadow. If I should marry him, if I would marry this man, I should marry 20 husbands, which means it's not exactly 20 husbands. If I would marry this Frenchman, it would be like marrying one man with 20 personalities. It will be equal to 20 husbands, because in different time he has got different qualities, different characters. He is different in the morning, in the afternoon something else. Suddenly when the bird is singing, he is jumping and he is frightened and he is going to attack his own shadow. And more sometimes very sad because too much of frowning, and sometimes behind the animals. So it will be like 20 characters. So it is marrying one man will be like marrying 20 husbands. If he would despise me, I would forgive him. Means if he would not like me, if he despises me, no problem, I would forgive him. But for if he love me to madness, I shall never requite him. But if he loves me very madly, I shall never requite him, means I can never give him back that love. That's what she means. Now to that Nerissa replies, what say you then to Falconbridge, the young Baron of England? Now some here next, the third man is gone. This is the fourth man now. Falconbridge, the young man of England, Baron of England, means now the first one was from Naples, second one was from Germany, the third one was from France. Now comes the man from England. Baron of England. Baron is the lowest position held in the family. Okay, the royal family. So it's a post held. So he is a Falconbridge, the young Baron of England, an Englishman. Now Portia tells about this fourth man. You know, I say nothing to him. I never said anything to him, for he understands not me nor him. What happened between them? Neither he understood me nor I understood him, because both of us could not talk to each other. Because of what? He hath neither Latin, French nor Italian, because he is from England and he doesn't know neither Latin nor French nor Italian. None of these European languages he knew. He didn't know anything except English. And you will come into the court and swear that I have a poor pennyworth in the English. So she said, you can swear me. Portia is telling that you know that I have got a very poor knowledge in English. So Portia has got a very poor knowledge in English. So she could not understand what this Englishman was speaking. And this particular man did not know Latin or French or Italian. So he did not understand what Portia was talking. So both could not understand each other. It was communication problem between them. He is a proper man's picture. Of course, he is a good man. He is a handsome man. He is a proper man. But, alas, who can converse with a dumb show? it will be like if they marry, they would be only talking not with words, only with the signs and symbols, like a dumb show, no? With hands and legs, they would have with signs and symbols only they could talk, like a dumb show, because both of them do not know each other's language. How oddly he is treated, but now she is describing about his appearance. How oddly his dressing sense. It is about his dressing sense. I think he bought his doublet in Italy, means his jacket. Doublet means it is a jacket. He might have bought his jacket in Italy, and his round hose in France, means his round trousers or the pants. Maybe that was from France, because everything was different color and shape and size and design. So one was the jacket was bought from Italy, and his trousers or the pants was bought from France, and his bonnet, means the cap that he was wearing. His bonnet is in Germany. Maybe the cap that he was wearing he might have bought from Germany. And his behavior everywhere, of course his dressing sense from each one is from one country, and his behavior is from all the countries. So that means he is possessed with all the different qualities, his characters. That's what she said about the young Baron of England, the Falconbridge, the fourth suitor. Next, Nerissa. What think you of the Scottish lord, his neighbor? So next is the man from Scotland. Okay, Scottish lord. So next, the fifth one is from Scotland. Now Portia, that he had a neighborly charity in him. That means what? Okay, he has love for his neighbor so much. He has neighborly charity, means so much love for the neighbors. For he borrowed a box of the ear of the Englishman and swore he would pay him again when he was able. What is this? Okay, because he received a blow on his face from the Englishman and swore that he would return it when he was able to do so. That means what? In order to save his neighbor, he took a blow on his ear, means but he got a slap on his cheek, and no, for nothing. In order to show his love for the neighbors, he got the beating. He got the slap on his cheek. And what did he say? And he swore that he would return it when he was able to do. When he will be able to return back another slap only, he will give back another slap, he said. That is the type of man he was. Okay, I think the Frenchman became his surety. Means what? That I think the Frenchman guaranteed that the Scottish lord would repay his debt and signed his name underneath the Scottish signature on the bond as a guarantee for a friend. Okay, now surety means the guarantor, and sealed under for another means, once more, I think the Frenchman became his surety and sealed under for another, which means that I think the Frenchman, okay, the Frenchman, one whom he was telling his neighbor, the Frenchman guaranteed that the Scottish lord would repay his debt. Now, the neighbor is escaping, Frenchman. Now, who is going to repay the debt? The Scottish lord will repay the debt. Okay, repay his debt and signed his name. Okay, signed his name underneath the Scottishman's, okay, signature and the bond as a guarantee for your friend. So, the Frenchman escaped with another debts, but who is going to pay back everything? This Scottishman. So that much love he shows for others. That's what. To that Nerissa replied, how like you, the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew? So now this was the sixth person. Again another young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew. So that's enough for today, dear students. In the next class we shall continue with the same scene, and still then stay healthy, learn easily. Thank you.